Ricky Carmichael's running 17th. We're riding along with Jason White in the 16th position. Looking back, Jason White, the top running Dodge on the racetrack. How about the run by Ron Hornaday? He was closing the gap and now going for the lead on the outside in Nashville.
Boy, what a move by Ron Hornaday. Oh, looked like Kyle got a little loose down the inside, which you'll have that. I'm amazed that Ron was able to drive up on the outside of Kyle.
Kyle's
not going to let him have it, though.
Takes it back on the bottom of the racetrack. How strong is that 33 to be able to try that pass?
You'd have to think maybe Kyle got a little bit loose off turn 4, got sideways, and Ron had a big run on him. This is a momentum racetrack, Phil. Even though these straightaways are so long, these turns are tight. When you drive it, it feels like a gigantic short track. You really get the truck bound up down in the center of the turn, and if you lose any of that momentum by maybe pushing out or getting a little bit high or loose coming off the corner, then you're certainly going to have you're going to pay for it at the other end of the straightaway.
It's 14th and 15th. Austin Dillon in the 3. Taylor Molson in the 56. Here comes Jason White once again.
I was looking at the monitor and it showed Kyle about 0.6 of a second ahead of Ron Hornaday. Then all of a sudden, bam, there was Hornaday going by him. So I'm like you, Michael. I think that probably Kyle Busch slipped somewhere on the racetrack and he lost all that momentum. That's what allowed Ron Hornaday to drive up to the outside of him.
Things are back to normal now, though. Kyle beat him 0.2 of a second that last lap.
Kyle Busch now with a 0.4 of a second lead over the 33 of Ron Hornaday. Ray Dunlap.
Apparently, guys, there was a lap truck that caused Kyle to lose his momentum on that lap prior. I did not see who it was, but he was very vocal on the radio about relaying that information to NASCAR. He said, whoever that particular driver is, they have caused me to lift 2 or 3 times already in this race. Let's get it fixed. So apparently a lap truck slowed him down. Adam?
Not much distance between Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday, as you can see at the front of the field, and that's good news for Timothy Peters as he continues to close in from the 3rd position. He is still loose as he was prior to that last caution, but the good news is they feel like they have got a truck that is good on the long haul, and they want this race to stay green.
Hornaday all over the back bumper, that 18 of Kyle Busch. He looked to the inside when they went through 1 and 2.
The top 3 trucks were separated by 3 or 4 1/100ths of a second that last lap.
Man, this is a great battle. It looks like Kyle is not having as much success keeping that thing glued to the bottom. He's up off there a little bit. Ron's certainly right within striking distance if he does slip.
Again, right now the top 4 trucks are within 5 1/100ths of a second that last lap. And the top 2 trucks within 2 1/1000ths of a second of the same speed.
Those top 4 trucks, Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday, Timothy Peters, and Kevin Harvick, have accounted for 16 of the last 19 Truck Series race wins. That's pretty good.
That's darn good.
I don't think it's a coincidence they're running in the first 4, do y'all?
No, I don't either.
Very strong for the top 4 on the concrete at Nashville SuperSpeedway. Kyle Busch is holding off Ron Hornaday for now, and he hold him off for the remainder of this race. We've got 97 laps to go. Stay with us. Next Saturday, the Rolex Sports Car Series rolls into Alabama. Brian Frizzell looks to get even with Mimo Rojas, and Mazda hopes to continue to dominate the GT class. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series live from Birmingham next Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Speed.
Won't be long, and we'll be near Birmingham in about, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
The Cup Series running there, as well as the ARCA Racing Series, which will be right here on Speed.
Driving the Aaron's car for Phil Parsons and his partner Randy Humphrey.
Yeah, looking forward to that, I might add.
Kyle Busch continues to dominate from Nashville SuperSpeedway. He has led all laps. He completed 59 as we're on lap 60. Ron Hornaday gave him a challenge a while ago, but now he's dropped back to almost a second behind. Timothy Peters has closed the gap on Ron Hornaday.
As a matter of fact, Timothy Peters has passed Ron Hornaday for the second spot.
You know, Hornaday's truck's gone away in a hurry. It makes you wonder if maybe he's hurt a tire or something, because, I mean, he's fallen off the pace really quickly over the last 2 or 3 laps. He's lost almost a second in his lap time.
Timothy Peters giving chase now to Kyle Busch for that top spot, as you see the gap between 1 and 2.
Timothy was a little quicker that last lap than Kyle was. We'll see what Peters says this time on their lap speeds. Again, Timothy about a half a tenth, actually 6/100ths of a second faster than Kyle Busch.
Kevin Harvick way back in fourth, and when I say way back, that's because he's 5 seconds behind Kyle Busch right now.
Hornaday lost that second spot. When we were at break, I think he got mixed up with a lap truck. I wondered how come he had lost so much time. See if we can see what happens here. Kyle Busch dives under the 46 truck of Willie Allen as they get into turn 3, and Ron tries to follow suit. And look, truck gets sideways. Wow. And remember we talked about momentum? He lost all. Look at Kyle. He's trying to battle between 2 trucks. He lost all of his momentum there, and that allowed Timothy Peters to drive right on by Hornaday. And since he's driven by him, he's been able to keep pace with Kyle Busch, running a little bit better lap times even than Kyle. So Timothy's a player now.
Kyle Busch still looking for that first win for Kyle Busch Motorsports as an owner driver.
These lap trucks have been tough for these guys.
Well, they've been setting such a torrid pace. You know, they're catching so fast.
Kevin Harvick again running in the 4th spot. He's almost 5 seconds behind Kyle Busch, right?
Not a happy Harvick tonight, though, Rick. We documented the fact that Harvick is on a run of 4 consecutive wins, but so far tonight, very, very loose after that first round of pit stops. You see Butch Hilton on the top of the box. They've been talking a lot about what to do in the next round of pit stops. They're going to take some wedge out that they put in on the last pit stop and going to put some air into the right front. Kevin says the truck is not rolling over very well. But how about this reward for Butch Hilton? The last race we had at Martinsville, Kevin Harvick got the win. On Tuesday afternoon, he walked into the shop and said to Butch, "I've got a little present for you." He gave him the checkered flag. That's a very special gift. Butch Hilton said he will cherish that one forever. And believe it or not, that win was Butch Hilton's first victory in Camping World Truck Racing.
I want to take a look back at Rick Crawford. Right now, Rick runs in the 9th position. That's a throwback paint scheme. Rick's been doing that a lot this year for the Circle Bar Racing team. Talked to Rick at length, and you know they're working really, really hard as we see Stacy Compton right behind him, working really hard on trying to put together a sponsorship package so they can continue this year. You know, this coming here to Nashville buys us a little bit of time for Rick. We've got a month before our next race at Kansas, so we're really keeping our fingers crossed that Rick and Tom Mitchell with Circle Bar Racing can put something together to keep this truck on the racetrack.
Yeah, if you just want to run the top 10, be part of a factor almost every week, this truck will do it. Rick is just solid week in and week out, and again, right up in the top 10. And Phil, just to give you an example, he ran a 31.65 last time by in 9th. Our leader only ran a 45. We're talking 0.2 of a second is all he's off the leader.
There's a good battle for 5th right there. Todd Bodine gets by the 51 of Eric Almirola to take over that 5th spot. Remember, brand spanking new truck for that 30 truck. Todd said that was the first new truck that they've had since 2007.
He likes it too. Did you hear him talk about it? He said, we're not even really sure how to set it up. It's so different and it's so new that it's throwing us a curve on our setup. But you know, a new truck, Phil, the more you run it, the more you're going to like it, because generally if it's new, it means it's lighter. And if the truck's lighter, its center of gravity is lower, and that means it takes care of those Goodyear tires better.
We saw Matt Crafton able to get by Eric Almirola, takes the 6th spot away. Todd Bodine still back in 5th. Kyle Busch is the man everyone has been chasing. Timothy Peters has been able to get the closest as he was closing the gap just moments ago, but now Kyle Busch putting the accelerator to the floor once again, running away.